everybody. So this is the next debunking video that us African American women heard about Africans living in Africa. So this is how America promoted it to us. So I'm going to tell you how, on my standpoint, and some other people who I've talked to, how Africa was promoted to us. So growing up, to tell you my age range, I was born in the 80s. Ladies aren't usually supposed to tell you their age, but I was born in the 80s, so you have a pretty much understanding of my age range. So during around that time when they were promoting or talking about Africa, to us growing up, Africa was really like promoted to us like we didn't know about any mansions, any cars, any houses, any places in Africa, because what we were shown was a lot of the areas that were like rural areas where probably you mostly would think about the village, and a lot of babies and families didn't have food. So you saw the kids with the rib cages showing, you saw mothers crying out for food and water. So our mindset about Africa was like bad, like we don't want to go there. And then the next thing that we saw too, what they promoted to us, is that Africa, I had a movie that I watched a lot growing up, was called Hotel Rwanda. So on that show, I saw like actual houses and hotels and things of that sort. But here again, the movie, which was promoting, I'm so glad that the man Paul Rusesabagini, I hope I'm not saying his name wrong, was helping all of those people to survive during the genocide in 1994. But what it showed me is that Africans didn't like other Africans or people. And only thing I can see as what America was doing is that they came and saved their people. So here again, I saw another thing, that Africa was at war with each other and didn't like each other, and they rather kill each other over tribal things and things of that sort. Then the other thing that was promoted badly is HIV. And it's really sad because HIV is everywhere. And what was promoted to us growing up, or to a lot of us in that age range I've just told you about, the year I'm born in, was that HIV was heavy in Africa. So if you mess with anybody from Africa, you definitely was going to come up with HIV. And that was bad. That was to the point where I remember an African guy trying to holler at me back when I was in high school and in college. And both times I was like, no. Like the mindset, and I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with you guys, how they promote it. And it's sad that this is how they promoted it. I didn't understand or get a brief of finding out it wasn't like that until my 30s, to actually go to Ghana and actually experience it for myself. Actually late 20s, like 28, 29. So in my mindset, I was like, I'm not dating no African back when I was younger, because I thought everybody had HIV. And this is it's sick. Like, why would you put us against each other or make us where we don't want to be with anybody? And then another thing that they would tell us or promote is that all African men are abusive, and they're going to beat you up, and they're going to be controlling and tell you what to do and tell you what you can't do. And this also had to be debunked too, because all of this is not true. Now, there are some people, and that's all over the world, that can be abusive to women and cannot give women their rights and stuff like that. But don't throw that just on them because of what is happening. Like, I hate how they promoted these things to us to keep us apart. Another thing is that even in this day and age, they promote as Africans, and some people from different parts of Africa are scammers, and all they're going to do is get with you to scam you. They're not going to want to be with you to love you, or they're going to be with you, and then if they decide to come over to the United States with you, they're going to be with you for a little short amount of time and then skip on you and then bring whoever they're really in love with over. And that has to be debunked too. Sometimes that stuff happens, but that also happens to other Africans who actually come here and they bring their spouse over here from coming by themselves and they leave. It is what it is, but that's how I believe they place fear in us to make, to put us against each other. And even look at some movies, and I hate to say this, but some American movies that clearly needed an African actor because they needed an African representation, used African American to be trained and taught how to speak like African instead of just picking an African to do that role, vice versa. So it's like a lot of these media outlets did so much to keep us apart. But then when you think about how Africans treat our counterpart, our counter people, or people that aren't of color, it's like almost like they treat them like baby Jesus. Not to say, I mean, everybody is not like that, but one good friend of mine who is a Ghanaian told me that when you see a white person, meaning a person that does not have any pigmentation color like me, like if you see a Caucasian, that you have seen Jesus or God, so you shouldn't have to go to church or do anything after that. Maybe it's not to that context, but you can tell. I can tell you about a story that happened to me, and sorry to make this so long, but I was with a guy who I had been with for 5 years, who was Ghanaian, and I was in Ghana, and we went to this place called Booty Falls. It's in Koforidia. And when we went there, we paid to get in and everything, and we saw a German lady, and I think they were both from Germany. They were really nice. But here's the thing. When we got through the trail and we saw a village, and I got my ankle cut, and they, helped me out with some alcohol. But we bought drinks and food and different stuff, with us, and we gave it to them. And guess who they thought it was from? The two white ladies. And they hailed them and celebrated them as if they had everything, when honestly, like, it was all my money. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong about it, but it just showed me correlation of how they're publicized, or things are publicized. But it is what it is. But it just is showing you the correlation of things and how. But if you have any information or any things you want to share about what you saw growing up about African Americans, or vice versa, when you met African Americans, what did they tell you, or vice versa? Let's share it on this platform, and let's do like a little video so we can get more people talking. All right. Love you guys. Adwoa-Sugar.